Netflix's Outer Banks, Season 4, Part 1 of it, premieres on October 10th only on Netflix. And one of the stars of that highly popular show, Jonathan Davis, is here on the program. The clip that we just saw, our radio audience just rejoined us in the middle of at the very end of the clip. You directed that commercial for the surf shop?
Mm-hmm.
Right now?
I wrote and directed that. Just kind of talked to the director about it, thought it would be funny.
Yeah.
And he was like, you should write it and pitch it to Netflix. And I was like, okay. So I wrote that one and like 2 more. And they were like, well, sure, we'll do it. And they let me direct it. I was like, okay.
And so that's the stuff that will be digitally put out there to help promote Season 4, Part 1. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's just pretty much.
That's a neat way of going about promoting the show, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty cool.
I was like, I feel like, we as a group like to do interesting things, and the cast was down for it. So I was like, I went to each of them individually and was like, hey, I want to do this. Like, it'll take your Sunday. I'm sorry, but and this is like in the middle of us filming this season, and they were all game and like happy to do it. So turned out well. Like, they just kind of improv and go off and do whatever they want anyway.
So how'd you get hooked up with Outer Banks from Jump? How did you get hooked up with it?
Just like auditioned for it.
You did?
Out in LA. Yeah. I was out here just like going to acting classes, auditioning, grinding it up. And
did you always want to be an actor? Is that one of those things?
Since I was like 8. I think that was, I always like knew I loved movies.
Yeah.
Like going to the movies was kind of like a big thing because I came from a small town in Texas, so it's not really much to do. It's football and movies. So I went to go see movies with my dad, and I was like, I got to be a part of this somehow. And started doing theater and finding like I loved it. I loved doing it. I was really involved with the craft, and then just kept at it. Moved to LA at like 17.
17?
Yeah, I was 17. I moved out here. It's like going from place to place, like couches, artist grind or whatever. And then 2018, I booked Outer Banks, and like.
So you booked it at age 18?
Yes.
Okay.
I was 19 when we shot the first season.
And you're a grown-ass man of 24 right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been
who's sitting here on the
5
set.
years has been insane.
It has been. I mean, what do you attribute the popularity, the success of this show?
I think it has a lot to do with like when it came out, like during COVID, everybody was inside, and it was a show about like being outside and like having friends, and honestly, like the group, like the friend group on the show, like we're kind of like that in real life anyway. Like we're just like really cool with each other. We
text chains and stuff like that.
Everything you can imagine. So I think like a lot of people kind of resonated with that, and it just kept going from there. And obviously, like the show is good, and like. The plots are insane, and a lot of young people really relate to like what the characters go through.
How are you handling fame?
It's a weird thing. It's
what's the weirdest place somebody's come up to you?
The weirdest place. Ugh. I had somebody come up to me and said he played for like the 80s Celtics and was like, I'm a huge fan of you specifically. I was like, what game was that at? I don't even remember. I was at, I think it was like a Lakers game or something I was at. And he was like, I'm a huge fan. And I was like, I didn't know like people like watch the show that were that old.
Okay, first of all, excuse me, let's push back. I mean,
it's not an ageist thing.
No,
I was just very surprised the first time it happened.
So he said he played for the 80s Celtics.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have to pull up the roster of the 80s Celtics.
I don't know if it was the 80s, but it was that era of Celtics. Yes.
Tiny Archibald, Larry Bird.
If it was that, I would have known. I'd have been like, oh, snap, it's Kevin McHale.
Right, no, obscure, like ML Carr, Chris Ford.
Guys like that. Yeah, let's go through. Honestly, I bet he's watching, and we could definitely get him to come out and say something.
Cornbread, if they were playing the Celtics,
was he tall?
He does the radio.
Oh yeah, he looked like this guy played for the Celtics for sure.
So it checked out.
It checked
just
out
on the eye test.
Yeah, I was like, nah, he looks like a ball player.
Was it Chief? Was it Robert Parrish? I bet you.
Well, I mean,
now he was. Well, he was. He was Caucasian.
Okay.
So,
that helps us.
Well, not with Boston.
Well, yeah, it's the 70s, 80s.
It actually widens the net, Chris.
If Utah or Boston, then we're in trouble. We're not going to be able to figure out who the. No,
Danny Ainge.
Is it Danny Ainge?
No, it wasn't Danny Ainge.
Okay, we know that.
I'm telling you, like, I would have known if it was. I would have known.
Give me the name of a Caucasian Celtic.
Jerry Seasteak.
That did not exactly. That did not
probably.
That did not. Which annoyed the hell out of everybody because he should never have been as good as he was because he was a Celtic. You know what I mean? Like, who would that person be?
C-Sting.
But he said
yes.
this.
Yeah, he said I played for the Celtics. And I was like,
tall.
oh,
How
snap.
tall are we talking?
Okay.
I remember this. Pop, my dad was there.
Do you remember his name?
No, but if we would know those names you name it, we would know.
Okay,
Yeah,
keep
I
going.
don't know if it was like Danny
Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
Going through everybody.
We could go
We're
through.
going to figure out who this was.
We have 43 minutes. We have 33 minutes left in the show. We do not have enough time to name all the white Celtics.
Show me the pictures and let me just scroll through.
Not have enough time.
we would run out of time. That's pretty cool, though.
That is cool.
What's your team? What's your
basketball? So I'm one of those weird sports fans. So I'm a Houston Rockets fan.
Okay.
Houston Astros fan. Sorry.
Well, it's okay. It's all right.
It's all right.
It
is fine.
I understand that.
It is fine.
And who else?
And Tennessee Titans football fan.
Now, is that because the Oilers went to Tennessee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my dad's from Houston.
Okay.
But I was born in Nashville, right?
Sure.
He went to TSU. That's where he met my mom. I was born in Nash. And they relocated around the same time he went to college in Nashville. So he was a Titans fan since then. And, they had the years with like Eddie George and, the year they went to the Bowl.
Is that you and your folks?
Yeah, that's
right
me
there?
and my folks at the Titans game right there.
Which this year? The other day?
No, that was last year. That was the Atlanta Titans game last year.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It was me and Dr. Doom.
Okay.
And Amy
Dr.
Adams.
Doom. Yeah, Amy Adams, the owner of the team.
Yeah,
So you went straight up the flow chart here.
We literally text each other all the time.
Is that right?
Yeah, me and Amy text each other. Like I haven't met an owner who is so like she knows her football. Like we literally sit there and like,
yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah, no.
I don't know why I didn't, but like everybody's like, I'm like there in like the suite with her and everybody's kind of like talking and smoothing. And we're over here like watching a game like this right here. Like she's so intense.
Let me tell you something. Watching NFL games with ownership is not fun because if the game goes in the wrong way, you're like wondering, can I just grab one of those cheese cubes and run out of here?
Dude,
I mean, like, do I get just one more tender in me before I get the hell out of this suite?
Luckily,
like it's not great.
That was the D-Hop hat trick game.
Okay.
And D-Hop scored 3 touchdowns, so we're over here high-fiving each other. And
hey, so that's when you want to watch with
I
ownership.
felt good there. I was like, whew.
That's when there's another Tito's on the rocks.
Yeah.
Before you get out of there.
One more, please. Feeling good.
Oh, but do you have enough? I guess a comfortable relationship with her where you can text like, "Why are we giving up Derrick Henry?" or we don't go there.
Shoot, I text her.
Separate church and state.
I try not to. I try not to insert myself into too many of those conversations because I don't want something to go wrong. And then she's like, "Well, you said." No, but like it definitely, if like we're making moves, I'll be like, "Oh, that was a good move." Or like when we drafted Tavondre Sweat, right? So like I have my best friend in high school since I've known since the 5th grade, right? His name's Joseph Asai. He played for UT.
Sure.
I don't know if you know who that is, but we played football together, like against each other. So I would go to UT all the time, and that's how I met Bijan, and that's how I met Tavondre, and Keandre Coburn too, who's a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And like once they started getting all like both T Sweat and Keandre both play for Tennessee now. So as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, y'all got like dogs. Like those dudes are like for real. Like I know Keandre, he's for real. I mean, I know Keandre, he's for real.
Yes.
And T Sweat is the biggest man I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, Asai's on the Bengals right now, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's been playing for a little bit for the Bengals. Like he actually, shout out to Joseph. I don't know if he's watching this, but he just helped me with an audition the other day.
How so?
Well, he's from Nigeria, and the character is Nigerian. So I was like, can you just help read this with me to kind of get me into this like flow? And he's honestly like, he's pretty decent. Him and Bijan, they could do a little film together.
All right, now let's talk Bijan here a little bit. Yeah. So you're tight with him?
Yes.
And you met him how? How'd you meet him?
Through Joseph. Like I would go to these UT games with them, and we would literally just hang out all the time.
Good people.
Yeah.
Great,
amazing person.
Right?
Yeah.
There you guys are.
Yeah. Again, after that Atlanta game, he didn't want to take that picture, but he's smiling through it.
Because, well, I mean, was that the game where he was? Was that the game where he had a migraine or something like that? Was that what that one?
Is that
was?
what he? That's what he would say. He'd probably tell you he had a migraine, but all I know is Tennessee
like
won.
one play. Right?
Is that one? Yeah. I don't know what happened. Yeah, because there was a lot of talk of last year about him not getting the ball enough on the goal line and stuff like that.
Something like that.
I don't want to get you involved in anything right here.
Well, we talked about it, but he's.
Do you have him in fantasy?
I did. So that year I had him.
So you ever text him like saying, "What gives? Let's get
Every day."
Now that you feel comfortable sending a text about.
That's like my little brother. But but he's like, yo, brother, like you got to get Drake London. He's gonna be an absolute baller this year.
Well, by the way, that'd have been a nice heads up. It's too bad we didn't have you on last month. Because,
I would have told you. He's been going crazy.
Yes, he has.
He's like, wait till I remember he told me, he's like, wait till he gets like somebody like who's gonna like really get him the ball. Like he's a baller. And like Drake, because like I didn't know how big Drake London was.
Right. Yeah, sure.
He's a big guy.
Well, because he's standing next to Kyle Pitts too much.
Then
everybody looks small next to him.
I hate taking pictures with these guys because I'm like literally in between all these like massive dudes, and I'm like I'm 6 foot and some change. On a good day.
You're not a small man.
Not a small man.
Understood.
But man, like those pictures, I have pictures of us at like UT, and like goodness gracious, I just don't post them.
Now, were you trying to FaceTime Bijan in our green room?
I was.
Trying to do that?
Yeah.
Do you want to try one more time here?
Let's see if he answers.
Oh, now you like the FaceTime game.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That means whenever I say, let's FaceTime so-and-so, you shut it down.
Yeah, because I don't have anybody nearly as interesting as Bijan Robinson.
He's definitely at practice. You're going.
Is that what he is? Okay.
Or I don't know what he's doing. He's definitely doing something. We'll try him.
Let's see what he's doing.
We'll try him right now.
We're trying to FaceTime Bijan Robinson live on the Rich Eisen Show.
Bijan's going to text me later like, sorry, brother. I was in a meeting.
He's got a deep voice. You keep going down an octave when you do Bijan.
Yeah,
he has a very specific speech pattern.
He's very businesslike.
Yeah.
The Falcons are
smart, man.
The Falcons are taking on New Orleans. He's got to be.
He's locked in this week. That's going to be a big game. Had a great game last week.
I think we should keep talking about his dedication to his craft and professionalism as to why he's not answering. Not that he's not really
not that
good
he's
friends.
just like, yeah.
Not that
he's not. He's gonna call me later. I promise you. I'm like, bro, I was on the Rich Eisen show. You left me hanging.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Right. Now we're all thinking, are you really friends with him?
Am I really friends?
Yeah,
look at that picture. That's it.
He'd be like, hold on a second, Kirk. Whatever, you can hang on a second. Whatever you're saying,
I'm sorry, Coach. I can't really.
FaceTime.
My good friend. You ever seen Outer Banks? This guy's FaceTiming me right now.
You're a very famous man. There's an old Celtic who once upon a time came up.
Okay, so it might be Greg Kite.
Oh,
okay. That's what Chris and I came to.
Was he very tall?
Was he very tall?
Let me see a picture. You got a picture?
Greg Kite, very tall, mustache.
Hold on a minute.
Were they playing Were the Lakers playing the Mavericks?
Yeah, who were they playing when you saw them? Do you remember?
Oh man,
because the Mavericks head coach
it wasn't the Mavs. Because I would remember Luka.
Hold on a minute. Okay, I'm calling up an image of Greg Kite.
Used to play for the Celtics, and he's the Mavericks.
Man, that could have been him.
Is this him?
Very much so. Could have been him.
Was it him?
I don't know. Oh, man.
Was this the man?
Is that him? Yeah, that was him.
Is it him?
Yeah, I think so.
Confirmed.
Greg Kite. Greg Kite. He was Outer Banks fan. Shout out.
He's an Outer Banks fan.
Snuffed him out.
Me and Brockman are talking to each other like, I think it's Greg Kite. I think it's Greg Kite.
Yeah, they're all back here. I've been saying all this. They're like, okay, we're still looking for this guy.
We're not going to give up.
Everybody says it's only young people who watch. Baby. Outer Banks.
It's for everybody. It's a show
for everybody.
It's like Goonies.
It's for white Celtics who are way better than they really are. Pissing me off as a New Yorker.
Greg Kite, also from Houston.
Oh, okay.
Not from Houston, but I rap a lot.
This is great.
Together. Play's about to drop.
2.5 point per game average.
So Craig McAfee.
Now, he was out there.
Is it true that
he's taking all those fouls for?
I'm just going to walk through the front door here. Is it true ugly people are not allowed to be on Outer Banks? Is that true?
That is absolutely not true.
It's not true.
But nobody on Outer Banks is ugly. So like you put me in a weird predicament.
Even on the inside, right? Even on the inside.
Yeah, no, definitely. If you're ugly on the inside, you can't.
I'm still looking. It's like the treasure. You know what I mean? I'm looking for somebody who's unsightly. I can't. They're in the real Outer Banks. We're
the trolls.
So we're the Outer Banks people.
Where are those people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, people be quiet.
Maybe that's why Greg Kite's watching. I can't believe. By the way, we're almost 10 years old on this program.
First Greg Kite
We've never had Greg Kite mentioned here, and I never thought
that's the first Greg Kite.
Is that the man?
I mean, like, man,
is that the man?
That looks like a guy who watches Outer Banks.
That is a guy who definitely didn't know that streaming services were in the future.
Nah, I mean, I don't know if maybe his grandkids came up and were like, "You gotta watch this show."
I don't know.
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know.
It's usually like through a niece or nephew. Somebody tells me, like Kevin Hart, tell me he watched the show, and like his kids, like I don't know if it was the same Lakers game, but I remember I was like walking, getting a drink somewhere backstage, and all I see is Kevin go. I'm like,
Who are you talking
So, like Tiger's over there, I don't know. And he's like, no, go, come here.
To you?
Yeah. I was like, oh, snap. Like, Kevin, like, what's up, man? He one of the nicest dudes. He talked to my family on FaceTime for like 10 minutes. I'm like, he did not have to do that.
Right.
But, you know, like his kids were there, took a picture with the kids, like, you know, just like, it was really like, it's just been like such a like culture switch for me. Like, I haven't been in Hollywood. Like, it was my first, like, I'm getting used to Hollywood still.
Yeah.
Like, just,
well,
it's been
that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that you got a picture with Kevin Hart, not just because you're a fan of Kevin
no
Hart,
Greg
but
Kite.
I was about to say,
You know?
next to Kevin Hart, you look like Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm drinking like,
Yeah.
You see those pictures he takes where he like has all his basketball friends and they cut him off
They
with
cut
the
him off
midriff?
at the hip.
Yeah.
I saw that on his Instagram the other day.
Well,
That
that's
was
hilarious.
Kevin Durant and Shaq, right? Because I was
that-
trying to figure out who
You're
they
trying to
were.
guess out who
I was
those
trying to
guys
guess
were?
who the players were.
Yeah, he doesn't tag him or anything.
No.
He just lets him sit.
That's what happens when you're Kevin Hart. All right, so what do you want to tell folks of fans, Greg Kites of the world and everybody else of Outer Banks about what to expect of this upcoming season?
You know, if you played for any 1980s basketball team,
You're
if
gonna
you were
love
on
it.
the Seattle Sonics or something,
That's right.
it's for everybody. Please
Shout out
watch.
to Detlef Shrimp.
Yeah, shout out to Detlef. Yeah, it's this season's like it's amazing. It was crazy filming it. Took a year. We went to crazy locations. It was in Morocco for over a month filming this season.
How cool is that?
It was amazing. It was crazy.
And is that again? I don't want to give anything away because crazy things happen on this program. That doubles for North Carolina? Or?
No, that's Morocco.
Okay. All right.
It's known that
Okay.
that will be Morocco.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just excited for this year, and I hope everybody likes the season.
And are we already talking about season 5 here or what?
I don't know. I can't say. Like, just if you watch this season, who knows?
Okay. Well, again, I don't want to give too many spoiler alerts away, but I'd love to leave some breadcrumbs for some of the fans out there.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get you in any trouble. You
No,
know?
I mean that commercial is like a pretty good breadcrumb. They at the end of last season, they come into a lot of the treasure that they have found, and
Yes.
they, as young kids do, find a way to spend it all. So yeah, they kind of start from where they are, and they've like they got to dig themselves out of more holes. Like these kids are never like they're always gonna like find trouble. So
Sort of like Will Levis.
you know. You know, it's 3 games into the season. It's 3 games into the season.
You're like, it's just 4 seasons into the series.
Look, it's 3 games into the season. The
Yeah.
defense looks amazing.
We
All
had
right.
Jeffrey Simmons in that chair
Big
just a
Jeff.
couple months ago, and I
Oh
loved him, man.
man, don't tell me that. Big Jeff
story.
is that's my idol. What are you talking about?
He was awesome.
He's an
Can't have
awesome
the chair,
player.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that he was here, and you know, I listen. I love the coaching staff. I love what
It's a big regime. Like
there are some players there. Just let's hold on to the football a little bit here and see if we can.
It's just learning, growing pains, and I think it's like a season. Like it's the first season with the new team. You know, Bill's back there. You got Bill Callahan back there. That stuff's not going for long.
Right.
It's like it. You got to go through the hard stuff to get to the other side. And it could be worse. We could be the Giants, So it's like
I like this. I like the spike and slagging.
We could be Daniel Jones in a round, but it's all good. It's all good.
By the way,
Make him a verb?
I just love your moxie, man. I mean, we've just met. For you to root for the quarterback who is turning it over at an alarming rate and slagging on another team's quarterback for doing the same thing is really an impressive trick.
I mean, the good news is we're like in a conference with the Jags right now. Like, it's like that thing's wide open till it's not. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I watched that team like in 2019 go from like what's happening to we could win the Super Bowl. Like, so it's like, I think the thing that people forget about the Titans is like, they're like one of the original the Oilers, like one of the OG teams of the NFL. Like, so it's because I think when you switch franchises, things get so like muddled and you got a new Houston,
I thought I'll still stand by it. There's 14 games left in the season. I had them as my sleeper team in the AFC because of the moves that they made, the changes that they made.
Yeah.
They have one of the best wide receiver rooms in the NFL. You cannot deny that.
Can't deny.
Right, and you got Snead, got the Prez back there. Hopefully he can get healthy and start spinning, running around.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, we'll check out part 1 of season 4 of Outer Banks that premieres on October 10th, only on Netflix. You're local. Come on back anytime. Let's talk
so
about
much.
it.
It was amazing.
That's
Glad
a lot
to
of
be
fun.
here.
You got it.
I'll see if more Celtics players watch the show next time.
Let's
put a list
just
down.
Now we're
keep adding it.
talking.
Let's
90
keep-
Celtics.
Let's keep, well,
Like, what's Dino
Yeah.
Raja up to?
Right.
Yeah.
If you could only find more white Celtics. I don't know where you're finding I don't know. At Jonathan Davis with 2 S's official on Instagram. Be one of the gajillions who follow him. Check out Outer Banks again on
There he
Netflix right here on The Greg Kite Show. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.